Good evening. Let's talk about what's keeping CEOs up at night. AI. No longer science fiction. AI is in our offices, changing everything. It's a revolution, powered by algorithms, not steam. For every business, ignoring it is like watching a tsunami approach and hoping it'll vanish. The tide is coming in. Will you surf or get washed away? This feeling of standing on the brink of something enormous and terrifying isn't new. History is littered with the corporate corpses of companies that saw a technological tsunami coming and decided to build a sandcastle instead of a boat. Think about Blockbuster Video. Yes, that nostalgic blue and yellow ticket to a Friday night movie. At their peak, they were an empire, a titan of home entertainment. Then, a little upstart called Netflix showed up, not with physical stores, but with a simple idea: mailing DVDs. Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix for a mere $50 million. They laughed them out of the room. They saw the internet and streaming as a niche, a fad. We all know how that story ended. One is a global streaming giant, and the other is a single, lonely store in Oregon. This pattern repeats itself with an almost comical regularity. Consider Kodak, the company that for a century defined how we captured memories. They were photography. Fun fact: Kodak actually invented the first digital camera back in 1975, but they buried it. They were so afraid of disrupting their incredibly profitable film business that they hid the very technology that would eventually lead to their downfall. They saw the future, held it in their hands, and chose to ignore it because the present was just too comfortable. By the time they realized their mistake, the world had moved on to digital pictures and smartphones, leaving Kodak a shadow of its former self, a ghost in the museum of corporate blunders. The lesson here is brutal and simple. Technology does not care about your business model. It doesn't care about your quarterly earnings or your long-standing traditions. It is a force of nature, an evolutionary pressure that relentlessly favors the adaptable. The Industrial Revolution didn't politely ask the horse and buggy industry for permission to introduce the automobile. The internet didn't check in with newspaper magnates before it completely upended the news industry. Each wave of innovation creates a clear dividing line. On one side are those who adapt and thrive, and on the other are those who resist and become footnotes in history textbooks. It's a tale as old as time, or at least as old as the printing press. And now, AI is that wave. It is the automobile to the horse-drawn carriage, the digital camera to film, the internet to the printed page. It is poised to be the great disruptor of our generation. The ghosts of Blockbuster and Kodak are haunting every strategy meeting, whispering a cautionary tale to any executive who thinks this won't affect us. History has shown us, time and time again, that pride in the old way of doing things is the most dangerous position to take when a revolution is underway. The past provides a clear and, frankly, terrifying blueprint for what happens when you bet against technological progress. You don't just lose, you vanish. The shift from typewriters to computers made us faster, but AI isn't just about speed. It's about doing what was once impossible. In business, AI changes the game entirely. It's not just an upgrade, it's a leap. Companies that don't adapt won't just fall behind. They'll become obsolete in a new world. This isn't about a small edge. It's an extinction-level event for businesses that refuse to adapt. One competitor, integrating AI, can absorb the market, piece by piece. The choice is binary: assimilate or be left behind. The stakes are not just profit. They're about existence. Are you ready? In a world of steady traditional furniture makers, Innovate Corp arrives, reimagining everything with AI. While others stick to old ways, Innovate Corp launches AI-powered tools, transforming the customer experience. Instantly, customers design custom furniture online. No waiting, no hassle. Costs drop, quality rises, and the competition is left behind. The first domino falls, an industry forever changed. Innovate Corp's AI-driven speed isn't just an improvement. It's a shockwave. What once took weeks now happens in seconds. The old pace of business is obsolete. Customers, partners, and suppliers all expect instant results. Innovate Corp becomes the center of gravity, pulling the industry forward, while slower rivals are left behind. For years, companies like Sturdy Chairs Leketier relied on loyalty and personal touch, but today, customers want magic, instant, personalized experiences, better prices, and perfect products. Innovate Corp delivers all three. The exodus begins. Stunning mock-ups, lower prices, and instant delivery. Word spreads fast. You can't compete with magic using yesterday's promises. Customers aren't disloyal. They're choosing a future that simply works better. The next domino to fall is the workforce. As Innovate Corp thrives, top talent from old companies looks over the fence, drawn to cutting-edge tools and new opportunities. They polish their resumes, eager to join the winning team and build skills for the future. The talent drain accelerates, leaving old companies weaker and less able to catch up. The loss of people is often the final, fatal blow. This isn't a normal price war. Innovate Corp's AI-driven efficiency lets them slash prices and still profit, while competitors can't keep up. If rivals hold prices, they lose customers. If they match, they lose money. The old guard is outmaneuvered, playing checkers while the AI plays chess. It's a battle of math, and their math doesn't add up. As Innovate Corp surges ahead, competitors panic. They scramble to adopt AI, but it's too late. Their data is a mess, talent is gone, and culture resists change. The gap widens. In the end, resistance proves futile. Acquisition, bankruptcy, or irrelevance follows. The industry is remade by the first mover. At Sturdy Chairs that are haunted, the 9-to-5 is history. Employees now work late into the night, weekends included, racing to keep up with AI-powered competitors. The 40-hour week has ballooned to 80. The cost? Burnout, lost family time, and lives orbiting the office. This is the new relentless reality. For decades, companies like Reliable Tables Inc. thrived on the human touch, friendly voices, personal relationships, and empathy. But as workloads soared, this care became a painful liability. The cherished personal connection was sacrificed for speed. The human touch, under pressure, became a broken promise. The human brain is incredible, but it wasn't built for today's relentless flood of information. In companies that reject AI, employees are forced to juggle endless data, tasks, and decisions, far beyond human limits. The result? Overload, mistakes, and burnout. The brain simply can't keep up, and it starts to break under the strain. Burnout is not just feeling tired. It's a state of profound emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged and excessive stress. It is the final stage of the process we've been describing. It's what happens when the pressure cooker, the cognitive overload, and the impossible expectations finally consume a person's ability to cope. In a company resisting AI, burnout is not an isolated incident affecting a few individuals. It is a contagion. It spreads through departments like a plague, creating a cascade effect where the collapse of one employee puts even more pressure on the others, accelerating their own slide into burnout. The first to go are often the best and most conscientious employees. These are the people who care the most, the ones who try the hardest to meet the impossible demands. They take on extra work. They stay the latest. They sacrifice their well-being for the sake of the team. But their dedication makes them the most vulnerable. They absorb the stress of the dysfunctional system until they simply have nothing left to give. One day, this star performer, the one everyone relied on, either resigns abruptly with no new job lined up, or they suffer a health crisis, or they simply become a shadow of their former self, disengaged, cynical, and unproductive. When this key person breaks, their responsibilities don't disappear. Their workload, a crushing weight that broke one person, is now divided up and piled onto their already overburdened colleagues. This is the cascade. A team that was barely treading water now has an anchor tied to it. The remaining members are forced to work even longer hours, to take on tasks they aren't trained for, and to absorb the emotional fallout of seeing their friend and colleague fall apart. The resentment towards management grows, while the fear that I'm next becomes a constant, nagging thought. This process hollows out the company from the inside. Entire teams become dysfunctional. Institutional knowledge is lost every time a burnt-out veteran quits. The quality of work plummets as the remaining staff are just going through the motions, operating in pure survival mode. Management might try to solve the problem by hiring replacements, but the toxic environment is palpable. New hires either sense the desperation and don't accept the job, or they join and quickly become overwhelmed and burn out themselves. The company becomes a revolving door of exhausted talent. The human cost is a workforce that is not just unhappy, but broken. When a company is failing and its people are overworked, the culture inevitably turns toxic. The collaborative, supportive environment that may have once existed evaporates, replaced by a pervasive culture of fear and blame. Management, facing intense pressure from the declining business, needs scapegoats. They can't blame their own strategic failure to adopt AI, so they blame their people. Why are sales down? The sales team isn't trying hard enough. Why are there production errors? The factory floor is getting sloppy. Every mistake, every missed deadline is not seen as a symptom of a broken system, but as a personal failure of an individual employee. This creates a workplace where everyone is constantly afraid of being the next person to be singled out. Trust evaporates. Team members stop helping each other because they are afraid of being associated with someone else's mistake. They start documenting everything. Writing CYA, cover your anatomy. Emails to prove they did their part. Communication breaks down as people become afraid to ask questions or admit they don't know something for fear of looking incompetent. Innovation dies completely. No one is willing to try a new idea or take a risk when any failure could mean public humiliation or losing their job. Blame flows downhill. Senior managers, under pressure from the board, yell at their directors. The directors yell at their middle managers. The middle managers, with nowhere else to turn, take out their frustration on the frontline employees who are already bearing the brunt of the impossible workload. Meetings become less about problem solving and more about assigning blame for past failures. The workplace starts to feel less like a team and more like a circular firing squad where everyone is trying to avoid getting hit. This toxic atmosphere is just as exhausting as the long hours. The ultimate result is an internal collapse that mirrors the company's external decline. The organization becomes paralyzed by fear. People are so focused on protecting themselves that they can't focus on serving the customer or improving the product. The company's energy is turned inward, consumed by infighting and political maneuvering. Even if they wanted to, they could no longer execute a complex strategy like adopting AI, because the basic levels of trust and collaboration required for such a project have been completely destroyed. The refusal to adapt to the external technological reality has created an internal social reality that is just as unsustainable. The human body can only endure so much stress before it starts to send out distress signals. The extreme, prolonged pressure inside a company refusing AI doesn't just stay in the mind, it manifests physically. The immense psychological toll begins to take a very real, very painful physical form. This isn't just about feeling tired or having a headache. We are talking about a significant increase in serious, stress-related health conditions across the workforce. The cost of refusing AI is not only measured in spreadsheets and market share, but in hospital visits and prescription medications. The list of ailments is long and grim. Chronic stress is a direct contributor to high blood pressure, increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. The constant anxiety and pressure lead to a spike in anxiety disorders, panic attacks, and depression. Employees, fueled by caffeine and adrenaline, suffer from severe insomnia, unable to switch their minds off at night, which only deepens their exhaustion. Digestive problems, like ulcers and irritable bowel syndrome, become commonplace as the body's systems are thrown into disarray. The immune system weakens, leading to frequent illnesses, which means more sick days and even lower productivity. The environment itself becomes physically unhealthy. People are working such long hours that they have no time for exercise. They subsist on a diet of takeout food and office snacks because they are too exhausted to cook a proper meal. The psychological strain can lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as increased alcohol consumption or smoking. The workplace, once a source of livelihood, becomes a direct threat to the long-term health and well-being of its employees. The company is, quite literally, making its people sick in its desperate attempt to stay afloat. This creates yet another vicious cycle. As employees' health declines, their performance at work suffers even more. They are less focused, less energetic, and more prone to making errors. Their healthcare costs for the company may also rise, adding another financial burden to the struggling business. Management, however, is often blind to this, seeing the increase in sick days not as a symptom of a toxic environment, but as a lack of commitment. The human cost reaches a tragic peak when people are forced to choose between their health and their paycheck, a choice no one should have to make. After all the long hours, burnout, and ruined health, the company fails anyway. Employees realize their sacrifices were meaningless. They poured their lives into a sinking ship, only to be left unemployed and exhausted. The true cost of refusing to adapt isn't just business failure. It's broken people, betrayed and abandoned for a lost cause. When we think of AI at work, many imagine robots replacing people. But AI isn't here to conquer. It's here to collaborate. The real value of AI is in augmenting human skills, not eliminating them. AI frees us from repetitive tasks, so we can focus on creativity, problem solving, and what humans do best. In this new era, human insight and judgment are more valuable than ever. As AI transforms business, a new role emerges: the AI supervisor. This expert bridges the gap between machine intelligence and real-world complexity, monitoring, correcting, and guiding AI decisions. Far from obsolete, experienced professionals become essential, using their deep knowledge to ensure AI acts ethically and aligns with company goals. The future is human in the loop. AI is not infallible. These systems are complex pattern recognition machines, reflecting the data they're trained on. If that data is biased or incomplete, mistakes happen, sometimes with serious consequences. Human oversight is essential, because even the best AI can fail in unexpected situations. Remember, AI is powerful, but it always needs vigilant supervision. In an AI-powered business, a single missed error can trigger massive failures. Instantly and at scale, human oversight isn't just a formality, it's the last line of defense. Supervisors must actively question, stress test, and catch subtle flaws, because one small mistake can lead to catastrophic consequences. The stakes have never been higher. As AI takes over repetitive tasks, human value is shifting from doing to thinking, designing, and collaborating. Our worth is now measured by creativity, critical thought, and empathy. Skills machines can't replicate. The future belongs to those who ask questions, connect with others, and imagine new possibilities. In an AI-powered world, humans are teachers and curators. We train AI, guide its learning, and curate the knowledge it uses. Our expertise shapes smarter machines, while AI handles routine tasks, freeing us for higher-level strategy and creativity. The real advantage? The quality of human teachers constantly improving the AI. The future isn't about humans or AI alone. It's about partnership. AI brings speed and scale. Humans bring creativity and judgment. Together, we achieve more than either could alone. The smartest organizations will be those where technology empowers people, and people guide technology. That's true augmentation. In the age of AI, the companies that win are those where humans and AI work together, setting a new, almost impossible standard: absolute proficiency. It's not just about minimizing mistakes, but striving for perfection in every aspect of business. AI brings speed and data power, but humans provide the guidance and ethics. Absolute proficiency is the near-perfect synthesis of machine power and human wisdom. The new competition isn't other companies. It's the mathematical ideal. The bar is higher than ever. In traditional business, errors are expected and budgeted for, just the cost of doing business. But in AI-powered companies, even a tiny mistake can cascade into disaster. The goal is zero errors. Every anomaly is treated as an existential threat. This relentless pursuit of perfection builds trust, slashes costs, and sets leaders apart from the rest. The manager of tomorrow isn't a taskmaster. They're an integrator, orchestrating seamless collaboration between humans and AI. The old command and control model is obsolete. You can't motivate an algorithm or micromanage a human-AI team. Today's leader must understand both technology and people, blending technical savvy with emotional intelligence. Their focus shifts from monitoring hours to measuring outcomes. Did the team, human and AI, achieve its goal? Managers foster psychological safety, encouraging humans to challenge AI when needed. They act as translators, ethicists, and visionaries, bridging business, tech, and ethics. The best companies will cultivate these hybrid leaders, because without them, the human-AI orchestra falls into chaos. The future belongs to those who can lead both minds and machines. Integration, not delegation, is the new management superpower. In the age of absolute proficiency, productivity isn't about being busy. It's about making an impact. Old routines, clearing inboxes, endless meetings, are automated away. Now, a good day might mean hours spent thinking, debating, or finding a single flaw in an AI's logic. Tangible output is less important than critical insight. Employees must shift from a doer mindset to a thinker mindset, embracing ambiguity and deep work. The rhythm of work changes, bursts of focus, followed by reflection. Companies must support this, prioritizing outcomes over hours. Effectiveness, not presence, defines a good day's work. Gut decisions are out. data-driven rigor is in. Every choice, from strategy to button color, must be backed by evidence. Intuition forms hypotheses, but only data validates them. AI enforces this mandate, tracking outcomes and exposing results, good or bad. Leaders must speak the language of data, defending ideas with evidence, not authority. This relentless measurement creates a feedback loop. Measure, analyze, improve, repeat. The pursuit of perfection is powered by data, making both humans and machines accountable. In this world, only the rigorous thrive. Companies that ignore AI rarely collapse overnight. They quietly fade into irrelevance. Innovation stalls, products grow stale, and the world moves on. They become relics, losing talent, investment, and influence. The best people and money go elsewhere. The company is left behind eventually. It's a ghost, present, but powerless. The brand evokes nostalgia, not excitement. The slow fade is a silent tragedy. A company forgotten, not destroyed. Inaction is the quietest form of failure. Some companies resisting AI don't fade. They're acquired for their assets. AI-powered rivals swoop in, not to save, but to dismantle and absorb what's valuable. Brands, patents, and customer lists are integrated. The rest is discarded. The process is swift, efficient, and impersonal. Most employees are let go, their roles already obsolete. The acquired company's identity vanishes, fueling its rival's dominance. This is not a merger, but a corporate recycling. Refusing to adapt means being devoured by the future. For many, the end isn't quiet or strategic, it's bankruptcy. Desperate spending and denial can't match AI's efficiency. Debt piles up, morale collapses, and the best talent flees. The final act is public and humiliating. Liquidation, layoffs, and a legacy in ruins. Bankruptcy is the market's harsh verdict for failing to adapt. The company's assets are sold for scraps. Its story becomes a cautionary tale. In the age of AI, stubbornness is fatal. Adapt or vanish. There is no middle ground. Perhaps the most profound consequence of refusing to adapt is not the financial collapse or the acquisition, but the legacy it leaves behind. A legacy of squandered potential and lost opportunity. When a company dies because it rejected AI, what truly vanishes is not just a collection of assets and employees, but a future that could have been. We must consider the ghost of the company that might have existed if its leaders had made a different choice. Imagine a world where that company had embraced the change, where it had chosen to innovate rather than stagnate. In that alternate reality, the company could have thrived. It could have transformed itself into a leader in the new age, combining its decades of industry experience with the power of artificial intelligence. Its veteran employees, instead of being cast aside, could have been retrained as AI supervisors and strategists, their deep knowledge becoming the company's greatest asset in guiding the new technology. They could have been at the forefront of developing new products and services that were previously unimaginable, creating new jobs and new value in the process. This vibrant, successful future was a tangible possibility, an opportunity that was there for the taking. The refusal to adapt is therefore a betrayal of this potential. It is a failure of imagination and courage on the part of leadership. They chose the comfort of the familiar over the challenge of the new, and in doing so, they condemned their organization and everyone in it to obsolescence. The legacy they leave is one of regret. Former employees will look back and wonder, what if? They will see their AI-powered competitors achieve the very things their own company could have, if only different decisions had been made. This sense of a lost future is a haunting consequence, a ghost that will linger long after the company's doors have closed for good. Ultimately, the story of a company that refuses to adapt is a tragedy. It is a tale of how fear, pride, and a lack of vision can lead to ruin, even for a business that was once strong and successful. The final consequence is a lesson for all who follow, that in an era of rapid technological change, adaptation is not merely a strategy for growth. It is the fundamental requirement for survival. The ghosts of the companies that fail to learn this lesson will serve as a permanent, chilling reminder of the price of standing still while the world rushes forward into the future. We stand at a fork in the road. One path clings to the comfort of the past, leading to irrelevance. The other demands courage, adaptation, and investment in people, leading to a thriving future. The choice is here, now. To not choose is to have chosen. Decide. Embracing AI isn't just about survival. It's about unlocking a new frontier of creativity, innovation, and opportunity. AI lets us do things we once only imagined, transforming work and empowering us to solve bigger challenges. Those who lead this charge will pioneer the future, attract top talent, and shape a more innovative world. As we stand on the cusp of a new era, AI's impact will be shaped by our choices. We must adapt responsibly, putting people first, upholding ethics, and thinking long-term. The true test of success is not profit, but the world we build for future generations. To every CEO, every board member, every executive listening, this is your moment. The decision to embrace or reject the AI revolution is the most important of your career. Invest in your people, act with urgency, and lead the way. The future is arriving. It is your responsibility to open the door. In the end, this entire dilemma, AI or die, boils down to a fundamental choice in perspective. We can view artificial intelligence as an alien invader, a hostile force that has come to conquer our world and render us obsolete. From this viewpoint, our only options are to fight a futile, losing battle, or to surrender in defeat. But there is another way to see it. We can choose to view AI as the next great tool that humanity has invented. A tool with the potential to amplify our own abilities, solve our grandest challenges, and elevate us to new heights. It is not humanity versus the machine, but humanity with the machine. This is the dawn of the augmented age. It is an age where our biological intelligence is no longer the only form of intelligence we can wield. We now have a partner, a collaborator that can process information at the speed of light, see patterns in complexity that are invisible to our eyes and handle the burdensome tasks that have for so long constrained our potential. This partnership frees us. It frees us to be more creative, more strategic, more empathetic, more human. The goal is not to build a world run by machines, but to build a world where humans, augmented by machines, can achieve the extraordinary. The path forward requires us to work with AI, not against it. It means embracing a future of continuous learning and adaptation. It means having the humility to acknowledge what machines do better than us, and the confidence to assert the enduring value of human wisdom, judgment, and creativity. It means building new systems, new companies, and new cultures that are designed from the ground up for this symbiotic partnership. It is a future where the measure of our success is not how well we resist technology, but how well we harness it to create a better world for ourselves and for generations to come. The choice, ultimately, is one between fear and hope. Fear leads to resistance, decay, and irrelevance. Hope leads to adaptation, innovation, and a future rich with possibilities we can barely comprehend. The dilemmas we've explored are real, and the stakes are undeniably high. But the potential rewards for choosing the right path are immeasurable. The augmented age is upon us. It's time to stop fighting the future and start building it together. Thank you.